I'm Curtis Hemming, Assistant General Manager at APAS. Back in the summer, we asked RM administrators if they'd like to receive slightly longer APAS update videos for their council to watch. And 80% of the administrators said that they would appreciate the longer videos. And so this is the first of those videos. We'll send a video to all the administrators every few months, and we'll try to keep them to only 7 or 8 minutes in length. We'll still send out update letters and emails to our participating RM councils, but these videos will be an extra way to keep you updated throughout the year. If you're watching this video and your RM isn't currently part of APAS, you should try out a 12-month trial membership for only $2,022. Before I get into the updates, I just want to mention that if you'd like an in-person update for your RM council, just let me know and we'll get it set up. Either myself or another APAS staff member or an APAS director will be happy to come out to your RM council meeting and give you an update in person. One last thing, links to all of the documents that I mentioned in this video are included in the email with the video link. So if you'd like to read any of the documents in greater detail, just click on those links and you'll be connected to the documents. Getting support for producers during this year's severe drought was APAS's top priority. APAS President Todd Lewis has been doing a lot of media on this issue. Plus, we've been directly advocating to both the provincial and the federal government for more support. At the end of July, we sent a letter to Minister Bibeau about the Advanced Payment Program, Livestock Tax Deferral Program, and agri-recovery. Also, at the beginning of August, APAS and 8 other ag groups sent a joint letter to Premier Moe, Minister Merritt, and Minister Harpower requesting additional provincial support. And in case you didn't receive it, we also released the APAS Drought Plan back in July, which proposed numerous drought support items for both livestock and crop producers. We had also heard that many producers were having problems fulfilling their grain contracts because of the drought. So APAS put together an information document about the drought's impact on grain contracts. We also created a survey to gather feedback from producers about what their experiences were with grain contracts this year. A link to both the background document and the survey are included in the email. Right after the federal election was called, APAS released its federal election proposals document. Plus, we sent that document to all the federal candidates and the political parties. Our proposals include improving BRM programs, fixing rural connectivity, investing in trade infrastructure, and getting more carbon tax exemptions for producers, plus a variety of other items. Now that the election is over, we'll continue working with the Canadian Federation of Agriculture and our partners across the country to advocate to the federal government on behalf of producers and the agricultural sector. Bill C-208 was recently passed, and that's great news for farmers and ranchers. Bill C-208 amends the Income Tax Act to make it easier for producers to sell their farms to family members instead of people outside of their family. APAS had contacted all of Saskatchewan's members of parliament and senators, plus the Senate committees on finance and agriculture to help push this important legislation over the finish line. The federal government recently launched its consultation to create the next policy framework. The NPF is a 5-year investment by federal and provincial governments to strengthen Canada's agricultural sector. Saskatchewan producers want their priorities heard during the NPF consultation, so APAS has created an NPF task force to work on this critical item. You'll be hearing a lot more about our NPF task force in the coming months. Earlier this year, APAS sent a submission to Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada in response to its review of the Canada Grain Act. APAS wants the mandate and governance structure of the Canada Grain Act to be maintained, plus outward inspection should remain a function of the CGC. APAS also proposed greater transparency in market information and increased federal funding to the Canadian Grain Commission. Earlier this year, the APAS Rural Connectivity Task Force released its final report, and we've been continuing to advocate for the 43 recommendations in it. Having reliable internet is incredibly important for running a farm business. Plus, it's also critical for people who are trying to work at home, kids that are trying to learn online, and also for health and safety reasons. For the past year, APAS has been running an internet speed test, and to date we've had over 30,000 people complete that speed test. And if you'd like to do it, go to apas.ca/speedtest, because we'd love to have you add your voice. The next issue of our Saskatchewan Farmers Voice magazine will be arriving in mailboxes in early November. The cover story for this issue is outgoing President Todd Lewis, and Todd talks about some of his experiences as a president of APAS. Also in this issue is a story about food prices and how the price of a product on the shelf in a store is very different than the price that a producer gets. Saskatchewan Farmers Voice magazine goes out to over 35,000 farm mailboxes, so make sure to watch for your copy in November. It was great seeing people in person at our meetings over the summer, and we're currently planning the APAS Policy Conference, policy committee meetings, and district meetings for later this fall. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you'd like an in-person update for your RM council, let me know and we'll get it set up. Either myself, another APAS staff member, or an APAS director will be happy to come out and talk to your council about our advocacy and the projects that we're working on. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in a few months.